Welcome to Man About Danville with Logan H. Gurman, a podcast for Danville, Kentucky and beyond. Conversations with friends, and you get to listen. Brought to you by the Logan Company, a commercial and residential real estate brokerage for Danville and Central Kentucky. 80% Danville-centric, 20% eccentric.
Good morning, Danville, Kentucky. Welcome to Man About Danville. I am Logan H. Gurman, the man about Danville himself. You are listening to the most influential and fastest growing podcast for Danville, Boyle County, the Bluegrass region, and the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky, even though I don't have the evidence to prove it. Thank you for joining me wherever you're listening. Danville, Perryville, Junction City, down on the Fork, Lancaster, Liberty, Dunnville, Lexington, Louisville, Indy, Seattle, Atlanta, the Palm Beaches of Florida, Houston, Texas, Galveston, Chattanooga, Memphis, Little Rock, wherever you're listening. I appreciate that you choose to spend part of your day with me. I sincerely appreciate it. Well, Whoooaaa Nelly, we've got a barn burner in Titletown. It's the football kickoff episode of Man About Danville, and this week I am joined by none other than the head coach of the Boyle County High School football team, Coach Justin Haddix. Coach Haddix, thanks for being with me today.
Hey, nice talking to you.
Nice to talk to you, sir. I wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule this time of year to talk with me. I sincerely appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Glad to be on here.
Well, I wanted to talk about a lot of things, but first I wanted to talk about you. I know you and your family have moved here about a year ago, right in the middle of all this pandemic. Tell me about your family.
My wife, Melissa's an ER physician here in town. She works in Hagen and Richmond and in here at Ephraim. She works for Team Impact, is the ER group that she works for, and they service all the ERs. And then I've got three wonderful kids, JC, who is 10 and in fourth grade, and Jenna, who will be 8 on Friday. She's in second grade. Then I've got a little boy, Justin Cole Haddix II, that is 4 years old. So I've got my hands full at home.
Is that why you spend so much time coaching football, to get a break from all that?
Well, they're right there with me a lot of the time. So they're all very blessed with great kids, smart kids, and they enjoy football and love being around us. They had a big time at Meet the Rebels last night.
Awesome, that's great. It's nice that you're able to bring your family along and incorporate them into what you do.
Yeah, and that's something about coaching. What I've always wanted to do is, we're a family. I've got 58 kids, boys that are like my family here, and I want my family to be around them and support them, and they all they'll have notes, and they'll got their favorite players, and sometimes during the week I think, Dad, will you put this in this one's locker, and I'll do that. So it's a great experience. That my family's always been bought in at every place I've been, and love it and invest in the community.
Well, Coach, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Breathitt County in Jackson, Kentucky. Grew up there, and then I ended up going to played football at Breathitt County High School, and then went to Western Kentucky and played football. Blessed enough to get to do that, and then started coaching. I went back home. I had a younger brother who was a quarterback also. He was a state runner-up in 2008 at Breathitt County, so that was my first year as an assistant. I was a runner-up, and then in 2009 I stayed there, and then in 2010 I took the head job at Perry County Central. I was there for 4 years, and then I went to Corbin for 6 years, and then I'm starting my second year here.
Well, how are you all finding life in Danville? Are you all getting adjusted and getting settled in?
Well, I started up here in February the 4th, I think was my first day. And then March the 13th, we're sent home. And then we end up moving up here in May, I think, was when we bought the house. So we're kind of getting adjusted and getting used to everything that we can. It finally feels somewhat normal. We had Meet the Rebels, had these things, but we like the town. It's small, it's big, it's not too small, and it's not real big. So it's a great place to raise a family. A beautiful country here. Where I'm from and grew up with a lot of mountains. Where my wife, she grew up in Lee County, so there's a lot more mountains and a lot hilly. And I said, here the wind blows a little more, but the land lays beautiful.
I think we're blessed with a wonderful town. We're glad that you're a part of it, and I'm glad you're feeling like you're getting settled in. So I want you to explain to me how you come in the middle of a pandemic and win a state championship in your first year? Go.
Good players, good players, and great coaches and community. And Coach Smith did a great job. All the coaches here, Coach Hester, Coach Lefew, all the guys that are here. There's a great culture of hardworking, just tough kids that just do what they're coached to do and have fun, enjoy playing the game. There's high expectations here. That's one of the reasons I want to come here. A lot of people, why would you go there? Usually you don't want to follow the guy, and Coach Smith is definitely the guy. And I just felt like it was a great opportunity to, I had expectations to win state championships, and we were blessed enough to do that last year during a crazy year.
Well, you're exactly right. It's tough coming in when you've got big shoes to fill. You don't necessarily want to be the guy that comes in behind the legend. And I don't know whether we've had whether we had a legendary coach or not, but that's always a tough gig to follow somebody that's had such an enormous amount of success. Yeah,
I said Coach Smith's a legend in my books, and all the things that he's done and won here in a county school, things are unheard of. But that's the culture that him and Chris Mason and Chris Pardue and all those guys have really put into this program that all started. I know he wouldn't say he did it all by himself either, but it takes a lot. It takes the administrative support. It takes everybody to make a successful program.
Well, how do you think this year is shaping up differently than last?
Well, I don't know. I thought it was going to be good there for probably a month or two.
Until about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Then we start back in school, and there's all this going on. But it is what it is, and we've got to control what we can control. I say that all the time to our kids, and we've got to do that every day. Whatever happens, we've just got to adapt to it. We'll make the best of it. That's what we did last year. That's what we're going to do this year. There's no quitting and whining about it. We're just going to show up, and whatever happens, we're going to do our best. If we get a chance to play, we're going to play.
Well, I know some of your players personally, and I know those kids wanted to have a season. They wanted to play, and they took all the protocols seriously. They took every precaution to make sure they didn't come down with it and their teammates didn't come down with it.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing. Some of the things are out of your control of what you can, and that's where we go back to. We just got to do what we can do, and whatever happens, and we're going to make the best of it.
Now, you lost some talented players to graduation.
Yes.
Do you have?
Yeah, we did.
Is it next man up? Are you seeing some young men that are stepping up?
It is. When you lose the 4A Player of the Year, Will McDaniel, started both ways for us. You lose a Coleman Clark, who was kind of the unsung hero all year, started both ways for us. You lose 3 offensive linemen, Jake Hester, Caleb Edmondson, who started since he was a sophomore, and Paul Brown on the offensive line. You lose Luke Shepperson, who was probably one of the more talented kids we had on the field on both sides. We lost some definite playmakers that we had, but we've got some kids. The cupboard's not bare. They lost a lot more than that the year before. So we've got some players that are going to come back and have opportunities that maybe didn't get as many last year, and that's the beauty of high school football. And you see some guys go on, and then you see them develop, and leadership adds up. It's their turn now, and we try to tell them, I don't care what grade you're in. You're going to be a player, but sometimes those kids kind of have those mindsets that, well, when I'm a junior, I'm going to do this. And they grow and mature, and that's the beauty of high school football.
Now, your quarterback and your kicker are coming back.
Yes, Jagger did the 5th year, which was big, and then Jackson Smith, obviously, and he's going to be a starting linebacker for us too, so he's not your normal kicker in anything he does, so we're excited to have them back.
Now, has Jackson committed to UK?
Yes, Jackson's committed to UK. Yes,
and he's gonna play on the field too. That he, not just a kicker, but a football player.
No, he's a football player, and that's the same thing I talk about all the time with all our kids. And so many times the parents and then their kid, obviously they do what their parents do. But I play this. I'm a wide receiver. I'm a quarterback. I'm this. We're playing high school football. You've got to be a football player. And Jagger Gillis he plays quarterback, but he's a football player. He's going to play linebacker for us on defense. Jackson Smith, yes, he can kick, but he's a football player. He's going to be a football player, and he wants to do that. That's not whatever it is to help the team, and he's going to be one of our better linebackers, and he's going to have a chance to play that.
So when does the season get underway for you?
We'll start on Saturday. Saturday at 5 p.m. we play Tates Creek in the Fort Herod at Mercer County in the bowl game.
So that's over in Mercer County.
Yes.
Any other games you have scheduled or circled on the schedule, or you're just going to take them one game at a time?
We got to take one at a time. We've not able to have our scrimmage, so we're going to. They weren't able to have their scrimmage either, so we're both kind of going into it blind. I just texted our coach today. I said, Coach, we don't have any film to share. I said, we'll just have to go in blind and see what's going on with them. So we are. We're excited to get a play. We've warmed up and had some scrimmages with Paul Ernst Dunbar, 2 of them lined up. We were supposed to go there on a Thursday. It was too hot, so it got canceled. And then they were coming to us on Friday, and they come out, and we all got warmed up and ready to go, did our pregame, and lightning struck. So we weren't able to get that scrimmage in either.
While I've got you here on the record, I'm going to give you the opportunity if you want to make any guarantees. If you want to guarantee a state championship or a win over the Danville Admirals, you can go ahead and do that.
No, that's not me. Yes, it's one game at a time. If you're betting on high school age kids, I've learned not to do that. They've, all teams are different, and everybody, you assume this. You either get better, or you get worse. You don't stay the same. Some of those guys that played a lot last year and did some things are going to have to step it up even more because they're either going to get better or worse. Don't stay the same, and our job is to try to keep them focused. And I like to think we do a pretty good job at that, but you never know.
Are the kids ready to play?
Yes, I think the kids are ready to play. That's something. We had a great off season. That was something they didn't have last year that we had this year. And even going into that, they had to come in early in the morning. How many high school places can you come in and say, well, we're going to come in at 6:30 in the morning to lift. That way we can get to get everybody in there together. We're going to do it at 6:30 in the morning and every kid shows up. How many places do you have that we've got our basketball team and we're afraid of the quarantine? What are they going to do? So, well, Coach, we'll come in at 6 a.m. instead of 6:30 where we can get our lift in and then go shoot baskets and do that. So that's just a special of the commitment of the culture here that we have. And I'm not the only person to create it. I didn't create it. We're just keeping it going and making it better as best we can. And just it really starts with the kids and the parents that have belief in what we're doing and let us work with our kids. It's a whole community thing, and just very, very blessed to be here and hope we can stay here many, many years.
Well, Coach, I enjoyed watching some of the games on the Big Rebel feed on I don't know, whatever website it was that they broadcasted out. They did a great job sending those games out. I enjoyed watching them that way, but I'm looking forward to being there in person with my kids. I've got a high schooler and a middle schooler, and I'm looking forward to being in person, and I hope we can have something like a regular season coming up.
Hey, me too. I'm excited for the stands full. I know the kids are all excited for that too. And our big games that we play on our schedule and playing in front of full crowds, those are the things you remember. I remember being a player and, playing in the big crowds and everybody there supports you in your hometown. There's nothing like playing in your hometown with everybody in the community coming to support you. And that makes you play a little bit harder. It makes it a little more special to get to play that. And I'm hopeful that we're able to get that this year. All
right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations on your championship. Good luck this season. And I look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
That sounds great. Thank you for having me.
Coach, I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.
No problem. My man Chad Powell said I had to get on here. So.
Oh, I got all kind of operatives out there in the community. So
sounds good.
Hey, Coach, do you know what it's time for?
What is it?
What's up, Danville? What's up, Danville is the news you can use for our fair community. Got a bunch of things this week. The Boyle Investment in Youth Livestock Sale will be September 7th this year at the Boyle County Fairgrounds. If you want more information about that, check out episode 20. I interviewed some kids and parents involved with that. It's a really neat organization. It's a chance to support young farmers, ag families here in the area. And it's a chance to pick up some locally sourced meat products for your own home. On August 28th, the Boyle County Solid Waste will be holding a hazardous household waste drop-off. Get rid of motor oil, paint, fluorescent light tubes, all that stuff that you don't know what to do with. You don't want to throw it in the regular garbage, but you can get rid of it safely and properly at the Boyle County Solid Waste there on the bypass on August 28th. P.S. They'll be doing tires on a separate day. That'll be September 16 and 17. You can get rid of your old used auto and farm tires. On Sunday, September 19th, will be the Run for the Arts. That's a Sunday late afternoon 5K to support the Bluegrass Center for the Arts there on Main Street. It's their annual event. It was virtual last year, but hopefully they're going to be able to do it live and in person this year. So Run for the Arts, Sunday, September 19th. All right, so the Boyle County Rebels play Tate's Creek tomorrow night, Saturday, 5 o'clock over in Mercer County in the Mercer County Bowl. Adult Prom, that's Prom Take 2, hosted by Janelle Frisbee and company. That's happening on August 28th. For more information on that, check out the episode immediately before this one. I think it's episode 42. That's all the details on Adult Prom. The Kiwanis are going to be having their chili cook-off on September 25th this year. I think that's going to be out at Wilderness Trace Distillery. Going to have more details on that coming up in the next episode or two. The Monster Dash 5K to support the Boyle County Swim and Dive team is going to be happening late October around Halloween. That's the 5K where you get to run in costume. We'll have more details on that coming up. Hey, and listen, I'm an equal opportunity podcaster. I want to be well-rounded, fair, and balanced. So if somebody can get Coach Peach from the Danville Admirals to get in touch with me, give me his number, put me in contact with him, I'd appreciate it. I'd love to talk to him about what's coming up for the Danville Admirals this year too. If you have an item you would like to include for What's Up Danville, hit me up at the email address manaboutdanville@gmail.com. You can find me on my website, manaboutdanville.com. Follow me on Instagram, ManAboutDanville. Twitter handle is at ManDanville, on the Facebook page, Man About Danville. You can find this podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, even on YouTube. So wherever you want to listen, you can find me there. I appreciate it. I want to thank my guest, Coach Justin Haddix, head coach of the Boyle County High School football team, for being with me today. Until next time, be well, have a good weekend, and thanks for listening.
That's it. We're out. Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Subscribe to Man About Danville wherever you access your favorite podcasts, and be sure to tell your friends about us. You've been listening to Man About Danville with Logan H. Gurman, brought to you by the Logan Company, a commercial and residential real estate brokerage for Danville and Central Kentucky. Know someone who would be a good guest? Want to be a guest yourself? Have an idea for the show? Get in touch with us. Find all our contact information on the web at manaboutdanville.com. Thanks for joining us.